I turned my Etsy shop into a multi-million-dollar business, and if I had to start it all over again today in 2024, here are the things that I would do. Over the past several years, I feel like I've boiled down my business sort of to a science. It feels every day more and more like a well-oiled machine. So if I were to start from absolutely nothing, I feel like I have a very good idea of what works, what I would focus my efforts on. But by all means, this is not the end-all be-all of what you could do when starting a business. There are lots of different paths that people take. This is just what I would do and what I think would work really well, what I know works really well for my art and the type of art I like to make and the products I like to make, the content I like to make, etc. If you're new here, my name is Elise. I started my Etsy shop on my 18th birthday, which I go through in part 1 and part 2 of this series. I started my business just as a small Etsy shop that was a side hustle, had no intention of growing it, but over the past 8 years, it is a multi-million-dollar business. I think this year we're going to make over $3 million in revenue, and I have 10 employees, a storefront, an office, and a warehouse. So it's a pretty big operation, but if I didn't have any of that and I had to start from scratch, I have a pretty good idea of exactly how I would do it. Step 1 would be figure out what products that you want. So these are the products that I would do based on what I know sells best and what I know is practical without very much startup money. So I think all of this could be done on a few $100s out of a home or an apartment. I would start out with stickers. I would do probably at least 20 sticker designs. Stickers are not expensive to produce. You can do a lot of different designs without that jacking up the cost, because if you were to create, for example, planners and you wanted to do 20 different designs, it would be incredibly expensive. You would have to meet order minimums. But for stickers, you could do as little as 10 of each and just see what sells. So I would start with at least 20 designs. But you want them to be good, you want them to be trendy, you want them to speak to people, you want people to connect with them. So it can't just be any sticker designs. It would have to be something that fits your business, fits your brand, fits what you want to be all about. So definitely start with stickers. Hands down, that's how I grew my business. Number 2, I would turn those stickers into greeting cards. They translate really well, especially if it's easy to add like a punny little phrase on there. And greeting cards also don't cost that much to produce, and you can produce them at home. That's what I did at first too. I just had my art printer that I made my greeting cards on, which then brings me to art prints. Definitely want to do that. It's super easy to produce at home because it's just a sheet of paper, and then you want to make sure you have a backing board and a sleeve to put them in. You always want to put greeting cards in a sleeve with an envelope as well. All of that is pretty simple and straightforward, can be done at home. I would outsource the stickers, which I've talked about a lot before, but I would outsource stickers. I would do art prints at home. I would do greeting cards at home, at least to start. And then if you see that one design in particular is really resonating with people, then I would definitely consider outsourcing that as well. Next, bookmarks. So those could be done at home as well. Obviously, they're kind of like a sheet of paper, so you just have to make sure that they're cut to the right size, and you could round the corners or do something like that. But it's a great way to translate art into another medium, and they're not that expensive to produce. So again, it doesn't require a ton of upfront investment, and it's a good way to translate your existing art that's already on stickers and greeting cards into another medium that's going to appeal to customers in a different way. So those 4 things, very little upfront investment, can have a lot of return as long as the art connects to people and resonates with them and fits an overall aesthetic or brand message that you have. Then I would move on to notepads. I really like a small notepad. They sell really well. Everybody uses them. And it's a great way for people to support an artist who they resonate with. Not everybody wants a sticker. Not everybody reads books and wants a bookmark. Some people have Kindles, etc. But most people use notepads. So that's a great one. It does have a little bit of upfront investment, but you can do a lot of comparisons. You can find a company online who produces them. It's not hard to find a manufacturer. That would be the next thing that I do because they do sell well. They hit a different audience than the other products do. Then I would introduce notebooks, similar to notepads, but again, they're just very popular functional items that everybody could use. And it's a great way to translate your artwork that already looks great on a bookmark or on an art print to a notebook cover. So I would recommend doing that. From there, I think you could do pretty much anything, but I would recommend starting for sure with those 6 products. And again, very low upfront investment. As far as where to sell, I would get on Etsy. If you are an artist and you're making your own art, Etsy can be a great tool to start out, especially if you optimize your tags, your titles, you put a lot of photos on there, the photos look great. If your items are in demand, if people are looking for that sort of artwork and those sorts of items, then they'll sell. And you don't have to have any extra marketing effort to put into it to get sales. However, if you do direct people to your Etsy shop, then it'll just compound the views that you're getting. So if the more people you direct to Etsy, the more Etsy will think, oh, this person is directing people to Etsy. We love that. We want more people on Etsy, so we're gonna give them more organic Etsy traffic. That's what happened with my business, and it's super, super helpful. I would make sure to get on Instagram and get on TikTok. I would also get on YouTube and post the exact same videos on all 3 platforms. Then I would also get on Pinterest and I would post the exact same video on Pinterest. So all of your product photography should be posted on Pinterest. All of your videos should be posted on Pinterest, and you should design a video that works on Instagram, TikTok, and then can also be reposted on YouTube Shorts. So it's just very low effort. It can be done as one singular person, and it'll help you grow on all of those platforms. All of that traffic will direct to Etsy. It'll compound the organic search you're getting from Etsy, and you'll get sales there. That's what I would super recommend. Then I would get on Faire. Faire is a wholesale platform. It's exactly like Etsy, but it's for retailers. So as long as you are able to produce, multiples of your product, which you should be able to with the products I outlined, then you can sell those on Faire pretty easily. It's just, great because instead of selling 1 sticker, you're selling, 30 in an order. So you're not charging as high of prices because it's wholesale, and all of the customers on there get a bulk discount so they can resell the item. But it's a great way to increase your reach to more people because your item is now in another store where other people can see them, but also you sell more of that item. So definitely recommend getting on Faire. And between Etsy and Faire, you'll have those platforms bringing you customers. You can bring your own customers from social media for $0 and just the effort of putting in making a video. And that's the formula. That would be all that you really need to do at that point. On the business side of things, I would definitely make an LLC, get an EIN, which is an employer identification number. So when you have an LLC, that means that you as a individual are separated from your business. So if your business were to go into debt, you could sever your ties with your business. It wouldn't necessarily implicate you personally, and then you could file your taxes either as an LLC or an S Corp. Definitely get an accountant to do your taxes. It's worth the money. They will save you more money on your taxes, and you won't have the headache of it. So do that for sure. I would recommend getting QuickBooks because then your accountant can easily keep track of your expenses, but make sure somehow you are recording every single expense you take in, so that way all of your expenses will be subtracted from the income you make from your business, and you don't have to pay taxes on your expenses because you only want to pay taxes on your income and not your expenses, which your accountant will calculate for you, but you need to track the expenses in order to do that. So keep track of every expense, get an accountant. Also make sure if you like your business name, if you feel attached to it, if you feel like you want it to be recognized as a brand, get a trademark. You can file it yourself. There's a lot of explanatory things online that will help you do that. You don't need to necessarily hire a lawyer, but you can. It'll probably cost a few $100s, but it's worth it to protect your brand name. So on the business side of things, make sure it's all buttoned up. Get an accountant who will help and guide you. Make sure you get an EIN, get an LLC, get a trademark. Between that, being on all the platforms online that you can, and really optimizing that so you're reposting all of your content everywhere, and having good products that resonate with people that are available in multiple formats that aren't high investment are gonna be key. So if I had to start my business from nothing this year, those are the steps I would take. If you have any other comments or suggestions, let me know. Also, there's a part 1 and part 2 to this video about how I got here, so make sure you check those out too. Oh, Layla, you want to be in the video? And if you want more small business or puppy content, make sure you like and subscribe. Uh-oh, squirmy girl.